Hello everybody. I put together a series of slides called Safari Adventures, and this is our adventures when we were on safari in India and South Africa and Kenya. So there's lots of animals, lots of stories and lots of things to see. So I do hope you enjoy. The elephant is my favourite animal in all the world, apart from dogs. I have ridden many elephants, more in India. I have moved logs with a working elephant, had an amble through countless villages learning about spices, sat astride the family temple elephant, been on the tourist elephants, walked the semi-wild elephants in South Africa, and many, many more. All have been a joy. So this is what I've learnt. They're the largest land animal. There are two species of elephants, Asian and African. Indian elephants have small ears and are generally a smaller breed, but they're still huge when you stand next to them. African elephants have much bigger ears, which they flap about a lot and use as a fan to keep the flies away and keep them cool. The head of the herd of elephant is the matriarch, a female. She leads the herd and knows where to go for food and water and when. They are very family orientated, and baby elephants are looked after by many aunts and cousins. At the threat of danger, all the elephants surround the babies and put them in the middle. Elephants are constantly eating, vegetation of course. They love water and use muddy rivers to lie in and cool off. And what I found really exciting is how they communicate. They communicate through vibrations, and it's like a very deep rumble that comes from their stomach. How gentle the elephant, as he places his feet, as light-footed as any ballroom dancer, as careful as if he was treading on eggshells. How rough his skin, as you rub his hide in that lovely ritual of the daily bath. How tough his hair, like fine wire, adorning his head between two hard leather ears that flap and slap as he thinks about the fate of the Asian elephant. And how useful and flexible his long trunk, which feeds his mouth with food and water. The elephant god in India is very famous, and all Indian children are told a story about the elephant god, so they always remember Ganesh. So I've written this one, which I thought you might like. The story about one special elephant, the famous Hindu god Ganesh. Once upon a time there lived a very special elephant that lived to a very old age. She was very old and had a big head, small eyes, a beautiful long trunk, a small mouth, large ears, a broken tusk, a big tummy, and a very strange habit of sitting on a mouse. Now there were two little boys who lived nearby, and they loved this elephant. Every day they called to see her and fed her bits of food that they'd saved from their dinner. The elephant had a mameluke called Amy, and she cared very lovingly for her favourite elephant. At morning there was a walk for the elephant around the temple. They would set off and get back and walk 7 times round. She would then sit under a tree while the elephant ate some leaves and lounged in the shade. It was here that the mameluke used to tell her favourite story to the children. Amy always started with the same questions. Why does my elephant have a big head? The boy would reply, because we have to think big. Why does my elephant have small eyes? So we can focus better and concentrate on our schoolwork, shouted the children. Why does my elephant have big ears? So we can listen more, shouted the boys. Why does my elephant have a small mouth? So we can talk less, shouted the boys. Why has my elephant got a broken tusk? So we can remember to throw away the bad things. Why has my elephant got one good tusk? So we can all keep good things, shouted the boys. Why has my elephant got a long trunk? So we can play hard, work hard, and be good to our mothers. And why has my elephant got a big tummy? So we can digest and feel all the good and bad things that happen to us in a day. And why, oh why, does my elephant like sitting on a mouse? So he can be good children and remember we should not want everything we see. And why do I let my elephant carry an axe? So that we can be reminded that we do not need material things, shouted the boys. And lastly, what do we all call my one and only favourite elephant? Why, Ganesh, of course, shouted the boys. Would you like to know something about giraffes? Giraffes are herbivores. They eat only plants. Their long necks allow them to reach leaves, seeds, fruit, buds and branches high up in mimosa and acacia trees, and they eat hundreds of pounds of leaves in a week. Their tongues are up to 20 inches long and are a bluish-black colour. It can grasp any vegetation from high up. Giraffes have beautiful markings, and there are no two giraffes the same. They spend most of their lives standing up. They even give birth standing up with calves falling up to 6 feet to the floor. Ouch! Their babies learn how to stand immediately after being born. Giraffes' necks are too short to reach the ground, resulting in them having to awkwardly spread their legs or kneel to reach the ground for water. This can leave them vulnerable to predators. They lope gracefully along, but can run up to 35 miles an hour over short distances. They are elegant, regal, and kind-looking. This is a male lion, a very old male lion, and I feel very sorry for him. When I saw him, I thought he was thin, scraggy. His mane was all mangy and short, and he had lots of battle scars. I asked what happened to old lions, and the keeper said, well, they starved to death. Oh, after being king of the jungle, their teeth wear away, they haven't got the agility, they can't kill the food, and they literally starve to death and go the way of all things. So isn't that sad? So I expect this lion to have passed on by now. This was an old lion, and if you look at him in the next 4 slides, you might feel a bit sorry for him. He's looking a bit thin, his mane's a bit tatty, and he had a broken tooth. And as lions get older, they just starve because they can't. Sad. Not much to say about zebras, really. We all know that they're black and white striped animals. We know they can travel long distances. I didn't know that a group of zebras is called a dazzle. Well, there you go. They're wild, they can't be domesticated, and they escape from their predators by running in a zigzag manner. There's 3 species of zebra, and the largest and the rarest is called, and I can't pronounce it, Grevy. So that's zebras. I think they're quite like a horse, really, aren't they? We were on holiday in Kenya, resting after a long safari on our own chalet balcony. There was a lovely sea view and the air was warm and balmy. Grandad was reading his book and I was watching the world go by. He took his hat off and placed it on the table. Quick as a flash, a little monkey with only 3 legs and a long, long tail rushed along the ground, pinched Grandad's red sun hat and rushed away up the nearest tree. First, the little monkey turned the hat round and round. Then he bit it to see what it tasted like, and then he put it on his head. We all laughed because the hat was far too big for him. This did not please the monkey. He screeched, took the hat off, smacked it against the tree and threw it back at Grandad and ran off. Grandad put his hat on and never took it off again. The Maasai are an African tribe who are semi-nomadic and travel around parts of Kenya and northern Tanzania. Their main activity is raising cattle and goats, but the Maasai have also been known for centuries as fearsome hunters and warriors. The Maasai are always in search of the most fertile lands to settle for a while, so their life follows patterns of rainfall over the vast areas of land, constantly looking for food and water for their animals, and over the years this has not been easy. We have been supporting Maasai water projects for many years. They are a proud and distinguished people and very distinctive in that they are very tall and wear bright red clothes. They are famous for their mighty jumps. As cattle people, they need to see over the long grass, so they jump vertically so they can see over it. I have seen them do it, and it is amazing. Olympic standard. Their native dress is bright red, and they wear lots of colourful beads and many necklaces. They live around many of the safari parks, which means they coexist with wildlife like elephants, lions, leopards, cheetahs, rhinos, and every other wild animal that lives within their territory. We have had the privilege of knowing a tribe elder, Emmanuel, who came to stay with us in the lakes. Can you spot the leopard in the tree? We nearly missed it. Leopards, of course, are part of the cat family. They live between 12 and 17 years old. They hunt prey mostly at night, and what I like about them is that they hide in trees. I think water buffalo are ferocious, and they will soon see anything off. But I like this slide with the egrets on the top, keeping off the ticks. Water buffalo love water, and as long as there's water in Africa, they'll survive. This slide was taken at Lake Nakuru in Kenya, and the pink birds you can see are flamingos, and there were thousands upon thousands upon thousands. I'm told they get their pink colour from the plankton that they eat in the water. My last slides are one of cheetahs, who are beautiful, and the white rhino, which we were very privileged to see because he's nearly extinct. And this is followed by the ostrich. And the ostrich was called the beautiful one by our guide. And unfortunately, ladies, he's male, and the female looks very inferior. And finally, we finish with a video clip about ostriches. So I do hope you've enjoyed this. I've thoroughly enjoyed the memories putting it all together.
Here we will explore true facts about the ostrich. The ostrich is like the bird you would turn into if you met a dick genie. I don't mean a dick genie, that's different. I mean a genie who is being a dick. You know, wish granted, you're a bird. Awesome. But you can't fly. Oh, But you're a giant. You're like the biggest bird. Okay. Like even your eyes are giant. Bigger than any other land animal. Almost the size of a cue ball. Are you seeing this? In fact, just one of your eyeballs is bigger than your whole brain. I don't think that's a good thing. At times, the ostrich looks a bit like the makers of the Dark Crystal ran out of supplies and just glued floor sweepings onto a starving chicken. Don't get me wrong, it's a sensual bird with luscious lips. A bit thin. Non-existent, really, but as pouty as you can get without having lips. The legs of the ostrich are very strong, and they end in two big-ass feet. These feet are specialized for running, and each foot has 2 toes. You won't see an ostrich giving you the middle finger, but don't feel bad, it can still do the peace sign, or stick its thumb in a pumpkin and still tickle a kitten. From a distance, the ostrich can look like a dinosaur, but maybe where the top half of the dinosaur fell off at some point. The ostrich moves a bit like if Segway took a stab at reinventing the horse, or perhaps like a very well-greased ATST walker if you speak hyper-nerd. It can run up to 43 miles per hour, the fastest land speed of any bird. It's not the most popular event at the Bird Olympics. The chickadees don't even send a delegate. As the ostrich is a flightless bird, one might assume that like a snow globe filled with chili con carne, its wings and feathers are useless. However, the ostrich seems to use its wings sort of like a rudder or braking system while it runs. Whoops. Ostrich feathers don't have the Velcro-like hooks that lock flying feathers into their distinctive shape. Instead, they have downy, floppy feathers, which are excellent for temperature regulation. Wings and feathers also come in handy to attract mates in mating season. The ostrich does have an 8-inch retractable penis, as you can see here. Jerry, why is it blurry? Oh, it's like the new policy thing. All right, I'll just describe it. Imagine if you made a sock puppet out of pork meat, and you were bad at making sock puppets. Males will mate with a number of female ostriches, although one will be his main lady ostrich, but his side ostriches out of your league too are. It is time for the females to lay their eggs. Jerry, where's the footage? That's not allowed either? Well, we need a visual, so you know what you have to do, Jerry. The egg emerges from the female's cloaca, a multi-purpose... What is that, a smoothie? That's not a bad cloaca, Jerry, but we need to see the egg. Here in the wild, we see the miracle of birth. Like everything else ostrich, these are big-ass eggs. A communal nest of up to 60 eggs is formed with the dominant female's eggs in the center. At times, she may even remove some of the lesser female's eggs from the nest. It can get tense. Brenda, where's my egg? I don't know, did you lose it? No, I laid it right here. Well, maybe it hatched and went to dumb poopy buttbird school like his mom. They're not great at insults, they have a tiny brain. Females guard the nest during the day, while the male takes his turn at night. 42 days later, the cutest little babies are born, and they are nearly ready to fend for themselves. But of course, the burning question is why? Why the ostrich? Here's the best guess right now. About 66 million years ago, an extinction event killed off all the dinosaurs, but also all land animals over about 50 pounds. Before that, being a small animal on the ground was a bit like riding a tricycle in a mosh pit. The sudden lack of predators gave some birds the opportunity to hang out on the ground a bit more. One branching lineage of birds seems to have produced a number of species that lost flight independent of one another. These are known as the ratites, the emu, rhea, cassowary, kiwi, and the ostrich. Ratite comes from the Latin for raft, and all of these birds have lost their keel, an extension of the breastbone to which flight muscles attach. For whatever reason, this lineage seems predisposed to become birds of the ground. A few, like the ostrich and the extinct elephant bird, became giants as they cornered their ecological niche. Others, like the kiwi, if held by the beak, look like a floppy popsicle. Sometimes people may expect you to fly, but if you see an opportunity to run instead, you run as fast and hard as you can until you're the fastest thing on two legs. Who gives a crap what people expect of you? That is how the ostrich do. The dominant Oh, this is a good one, Jerry. Why didn't you use this? Oh, the feather got stuck to it. How many times did you do this? Oh, this is the chick emerging from the egg. That's not bad, Jerry. I don't think we can use it, but I think you're really going above and beyond. Just as a coda, one of the ostriches asked me to read this. Dear viewer, ostriches don't stick their heads in the sand. If you keep saying that, I will stick my head in your butt. You know, as I'm reading it, I feel like he might not have thought that all the way through. But at this point, I think it's between you and the bird. You know, don't kill the messenger.